I really don't know where to start. There's so many things that happened in that game. First half, second half, the ending that feels indescribable. I mean, what I don't understand what we just watched. Like, yet this is my instant reaction to our thoughts. I mean, let's just like zoom in on the ending real quick. The fouling stuff was really weird. I don't understand why they were rushing the foul so much. They didn't get any time off the clock. They had 3 or 4 possessions where they trade fouls. OKC and Denver, and only like 4 or 5 seconds come off the clock. You don't take advantage of Jokic not being on the floor for one of the possessions. You don't take advantage of Denver having no timeout, and you put yourself in a situation where not only do you not have any timeouts, but now they're able to trap Shai and you get it to someone else. And the Thunder don't really have elite free throw shooters outside of Shai. So obviously, an outcome like Chet missing those free throws is obviously on the table. But like, I mean, first of all, Chet was so many points left off the table, so many points in that fourth quarter. It was truly. I'm one of Chet's biggest fans. I'm one of his biggest defenders. Great, played great defensively the first few quarters, so it wasn't totally abysmal for him. But the missed 3 pointer, the missed dunk, the missed putback. I mean, a missed dunk in transition where he was untouched basically, and then the missed putback. How does that happen? I just don't understand how that happens. It hasn't happened all year with him. He just misses, like, leaves 4 points on the table right there. Misses 2 free throws. I mean, obviously this is not all on Chet. There's so many more issues that I'll deep dive into, but like, you can't just be as the second or third best player on this team on a game to game basis. You cannot be leaving that on the table, and just Denver's a really good team, man. I know OKC fans obviously expect us to win this series, and they should, but this won't be any steamroll, man. Like, this is a they've won 6 of their last 7 playoff series for a reason. They almost beat Minnesota also in that one series loss. Like, they are a very fucking tough team to beat. They're a tough team. They're a tough offense to slow down. This was never going to be easy, but you just shoot yourself in your foot when you basically keep them in reaching distance. I mean, the Thunder were like up by 7 to 10 at almost all points this game, but like, if you keep leaving points off the table, obviously it's eventually going to bite you. But overall, the clutch offense just looked really ugly. Um, I don't think they really ever figured out how to, best best get Shea shots right. It felt like a lot of them were out of flow. I feel like he did play a little better in the like himself. He did play pretty fine in the fourth quarter, but like, again, th- there was just nothing easy for him. There was nothing easy in terms of finding ways to get him the ball. Everything was extreme ball denial, like early traps. I mean, there's only so many things Shea can do out that double. I think he did really bad in the third and second quarter. At playmaking, fourth quarter, I thought he was fine. The team just ended up just was horrible off of that. Um, but the clutch time sequence, obviously, we have to keep going back on. Going to hitting that 3 pointers, obviously, I guess you live in that situation, but like, it's really just Chet missing that second free throw, letting them run, letting them play against an unset defense. But that one hurts. To let a team that obviously has a lot of experience, has arguably the best player in the world, like, to let them steal game one is not, especially off of a week of rest, is not a good look at all. A lot. That's a really bad loss. That's a really bad loss, especially in a game where, mind you not, Denver did not shoot well from free. I'm looking at the box score on my other monitor. Denver shot 31% from free. If this was a game where Denver was close, but because they were shooting hot, it's another thing. If Denver was shooting 45% from free, I would not be this concerned right now. But they outplayed. I mean, they won the game. Denver won the game while they had way more turnovers. They shot worse from free. I mean, that's not a game you can lose. The turnover advantage was what? 18, 18 to 9. The Thunder had an 18 to 9 turnover advantage and they lose this game. How does that happen? How does that happen? where you have a 2-1 turnover advantage and you lose the game. In a game where the other team does not shoot well from free. It just doesn't add up. They completely got outplayed. But it really starts with a second. I'll talk about Shai. I don't think Shai played a great game either. I'll talk about him a bit after, but I want to focus on the main reasons why the Thunder got in the situation today. And the second and third best players, Holmgren and Jalen Williams. Inexplicable. I mean, I already talked about Chet. I don't want to keep piling on him. He also had like a few bad drives. He had a few bad drives where, like, again, Denver's leaving him open for most of this game, right? They're mainly holding it on Shai, and he's just not able to attack well off closeout. So, again, really bad Chet game offensively. That was really, really unfortunate. J-Dub. I just made a video defending you about how well you looked in the first round, which is obviously still true. That doesn't take away from it. But 5 of 20 from Jalen Williams. He could not shoot a free-pointer. I mean, I'll give him one prop. He shot a lot of them. He got his volume up. I'll give him that. But the misses were awful. They were short. There were air balls. There was the 5 of 20. And my issue is not just the bad shooting. It's like the type of shots he was getting. Everything felt rushed. Everything felt like he's just chucking it up. He's playing out of rhythm. He let Denver speed him up. And this is the issue when teams play the zone and gap. It hurts Shai a bit, but it doesn't really hurt Shai as much. I mean, Shai, again, he still had some fine inside the arc looks today. It was really the trapping out of the zone that really messed him up. I don't think the zone or gapping defense messed him up. I mean, Shai completely dissected that in the first quarter until they started hard trapping, right? It's really players like J-Dub who don't have the same level of court awareness, same level of processing. And it really messed him up today. How many times was J-Dub shooting those off-balance floaters in the regular season? That's the thing he shot as his rookie self and his sophomore self when he was lighter, when he was more agile, where he could make those shots. He has not shot that since. I don't know why he was speeding himself up into these bad looks. I mean, again, just shooting yourself in the foot in that regard. As a playmaker, I was just generally underwhelmed by J-Dub today. That's really a common case, but you're not gonna win a game where your second best offensive player just shoots 5 of 20. I mean, that's unreal. And the reason why I'm much more concerned about like J-Dub's bad shooting than anything else is that it didn't feel like shooting variance or anything like that. It didn't feel like he was getting good looks. If J-Dub was getting good looks and like he has an off night, that happens. That obviously happens, right? Over a long playoff series, that's gonna happen. He looked completely flustered out there. He looked awful in terms of getting to the spots. He had the same issues against Dallas last year, and I mentioned in my preview video. I think that Denver's gonna run a similar types of stuff. I just don't think they'll be able to execute at the same level because they don't have the rim protection. Well, so far today they proved me wrong, but they did it in a bit different way. They put Gordon more on him, Aaron Gordon more on J-Dub, and he was bothering him all night. J-Dub's not quick enough to blow by him, and obviously Gordon is physical enough to absorb any bump. But just truly, really disappointing stuff from him. You've got to have him to step up. I think you have to play him. Maybe play J-Dub more in big pick and rolls and stuff like that. Have him less like on an island playing off closeouts because like the off the ball attacking was the main issue today. I mean, if Shai's creating an advantage, you have to have J-Dub one pass away, create something good. But I'm sorry, I'm scrambling all over the place. I'm just so frustrated over that game. That was awful. Trying to think of something more positive, maybe. And obviously Caruso. That's one of the greatest role player performances ever. He should have honestly played more down the stretch. I know he's still close, but he should have honestly played a bit more. Hit every single shot. He was quick as a playmaker. And I think that if there's a good sign going into game 2 is that Caruso is so impactful as this off-ball defender, where he just gets to the ball, where he just collapses on the bigs, Jokic or Gordon. He's just gonna be able to make them uncomfortable if there's any good sign. And he's really quick when obviously teams are gonna hard trap Shai. Teams are gonna put a lot of pressure on Shai. He's very good at making these quick decisions. He had like 6 or 7 assists today. So he's obviously like, what do you call? He was obviously doing a very good job at being a connector, and then he was shooting well offensively. So it kind of sucks that I can't go on and rant about Caruso for the next 5 6 minutes and praising him, like we would have if we won. But like I think we want to focus more on why they lost. So, but honestly, one of the greatest defensive performances ever. I mean, 7 stocks or 8 stocks. I don't know which side is right. In however minutes he played is unreal. I'm pretty sure he broke. He was like the first one to set the stat line in a game. So again, unreal stuff. But like, let's go back to the top offensive options. We can go to Shai honestly. So Shai started the game really well. Um, Played really fast, got to the rim, kind of looked like what not what you expect, but like how a normal Denver defense would look like. Then the second quarter, second stint, they go to hard trapping it. Here's the thing: when you have a player of Shai's caliber as a scorer, you're never mad when they shoot a shot. But I will say there was a few times when I was mad today when Shai is shooting these off balance 3 pointers that he cannot fucking make. He cannot make those shots. Shai cannot make a small sidestep. Um, Shai cannot make like these. He took like this little bronze sidestep 3 pointer. Like when does he shoot that shot? Um, like he just needs to stop with a pull up threes. I think there's a difference again. The step back threes Shai is good at. Shai can hit step back 3 pointers at a good clip because that's a shot his body's used to. That's his shot that his form allows him to. That's why he's so good on mid range shots. But the straight up pull ups are just not good shots. They haven't been all year. He's hit them a few times, obviously in big situations, which is great. But like, that's not a shot you should be shooting a lot down the stretch. I thought I thought Shai's playmaking was interesting. First half it was insanely good. First half he was getting the ball in the right spot. But again, second half like, and this is my really always gonna be my so quote unquote issue with Shai is that when he's getting these aggressive coverages, it's not it's not that he just gives up, but it's almost like he bails out on possessions too early. He's just not gonna get to the rim. He's not gonna try. And he needs to realize like sometimes if I try to get to the rim, at least I can like force an extra rotation to be made. I can create something for my teammates. And uh if he has that mentality, like if I drive here, I'm gonna draw that second defender. Maybe they'll get more successful results than Shea just trying to score first and then trying to pass it out later. He had like a lot of jump passes today, where like the help was obvious, but if you make the pass earlier, right, maybe the Thunder could have got a good shot. So again, I don't think this game was much on Shea. I do think he could have played a better game, 100%. But if we're playing a series between Shea and Jokic, and we want to be fair, he's gonna have to reach another level, and I don't think he did that today. I think he played a again that third quarter was rough for the most part, and the second quarter was very. He was just again in that chugging 3 pointers phase, so you're gonna have to have him be more fine with becoming a playmaker, like a full on playmaker. Just so not because like you want him to be like that the entire series, but because you can like force Denver out of these coverages. Other things. I mean, some of these guys are gonna make shots, right? Like that's another thing. J Dub couldn't hit. Chet couldn't hit. Joe was a big disappointment. He was really off on those 3 pointers. I'm definitely not throwing throwing the throwing him in the water after one game, but when the rotation is this tight, I think he didn't play in the second half. I mean, that's really rough for him. And Kaysen is another player. Like offensively, Kaysen has been really bad this playoffs, and I love Kaysen. He's one of the coolest defenders that we have. Right, one of the a really fun player. He had a cool run with Caruso in that second quarter to ignite the bench unit, but he's really got to figure it out in terms of being like a more efficient offensive player. Um, he shoots like a lot of like out of control stuff off the catch. He does have solid touch, but like end of the day, most of the time you don't want the ball funneled into a case and Wallace floater. So like you gotta just improve on that type of stuff. Um, and he's not being hitting free in the playoffs. He's regressed from free in the regular season compared to 2024. So I mean, I mean, the first half was really like where they lost the game, in my opinion, which kind of sounds crazy, but like They should have been up by more than 10. The Thunder should have been up by more than 10. They had such a crazy turnover advantage. They they completely figured out the defense that Denver was playing. I mean, when Shai was on the court in the first half, they had a 17%. They shot 17% from free. I mean, shout out Dort for finally being able to hit in the second half, right? But like even him, he was they were basically leaving almost every one of these wings, right, open just to heavily collapse on Shai, and they weren't able to capitalize to make them get out the coverage, and that's really what the game comes down to. Um, let's talk the game more on the defensive side because we can talk about Mark also. Obviously he's getting a lot of criticism for the foul free stuff. I think they went too fast. I I don't think they should have fouled try to foul up free when there was 20 seconds left. I think they should have just like let it ride. Because at the end of the day, you get the ball back no matter what, and you can just play the line, right? So no matter what, you give yourself a good shot. Better than just playing the free throw game and eventually one of your guys misses. In this case, it became Chet, and you're in this type of game. So definitely, Mark has got to show some better awareness in these situations, right? I think Game 6 last year is another moment where Game 3 last year where he just hacked the lively. Game 6 Dallas last year, he hasn't managed these clutch games well, these bigger clutch games. So that's definitely noteworthy. I'm personally not too mad at Mark. I understand why he did what he did. I want to be pretty rational about that, but I can understand where people are coming from. Jokic is amazing. Don't really need to say much there, but I think their defense on him was pretty good. I think it was pretty good. Fourth quarter, obviously, their Jokic had his best in the world, whatever you want to call it, stretch where he hit that top of the key 3 pointer. He's hitting these floaters. There's nothing much you can do, but they held him in check for most of the game. I'd say, like in terms of like making him shoot the shots you want him to shoot. I think Chet did a really good job at denying him in the post. I think again going into game 2, I still do like the Chet on Jokic matchup. The issue is though that you have all the bigs in this game were in foul trouble. Jokic, Hardenstein, and Chet, but like them playing on 5 fouls. That for like majority of the fourth quarter is obviously not something you want, and that's what Jokic is really good at. He's good at getting off ball fouls, on the ball fouls. I think he's like third or fourth most foul player in the league, despite what his fans say. He's really good at drawing and embellishing contact. Obviously, I mean that's the number one thing, bro. The Thunder did not survive a pretty bad Nugget shooting game. That's what's pissing me off right now. If you let them score 121 in a game where they shoot 10 of 32, there's something wrong right now. And main reasons is offensive boards. I mean, this is really a Shai and J-Dub. I think Chet has some critiques here, but Shai and J-Dub, Shai had 10 rebounds today, but I could honestly care less about that. He did not look that great on the boards all game. Um, Especially when he's gonna be like roaming off these players like Watson or LeBron or whoever it may be. He uh, him and J Dub really have to lock in, specifically J Dub, considering like he's usually the bigger body down there, and he has the bigger frame really to play down low. He's been really bad on the boards for his entire career, and hasn't really destroyed the Thunder much outside of the again late series against Dallas, but today definitely showed up. I'm checking right now. They had 21 offensive rebounds. 21 offensive rebounds. That I mean that's obviously the game right there. But here's the issue that Denver's not naturally playing so big. They just happen to have like one of the best rebounders in the world in Jokic, obviously. And again, Braun, Gordon, they were so good at stiffing it out, especially Braun, like stiffing on those cuts, getting those offensive boards. Gordon's huge, but that's a huge like that just negates whatever advantage you had in the turnover department. Where some other trying to think of some other talking points this game. I think Hardenstein was fine. I, I did not like the Dortmunds today. He did shoot a lot better again in the second half. Like I said, he finished 4 for 9 from free after going 0 for 5. So he was hitting his shots, but he looked really poor defensively. this game, which obviously is a rare for Dort. He was dying on those Jokic screens, and outside like there's two offensive fouls he drew. It didn't really feel like he had an impact. He wasn't really getting engaged on the ball. And when he was switched on to Jokic, obviously hard task. Like he wasn't offering much resistance there either. So like in this type of matchup, I think there is a question how valuable Dort will be. That's obviously one of the Thunder's best players. So it will be something important to look at. I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm just blanking out because of I'm just trying to think again. They lost that game. They were up 7-8 entire fourth quarter. That's inexcusable. I think that's pretty much it. That's my initial reactions. I'll see if I get a video out tomorrow. I was gonna do a Caruso video. I was already planning it. I already had some clips that I noted down live, but I don't know. We'll see. If you guys have like any video suggestions for to see maybe why they lost or something like that, I might do that. But that's all I have. Again, initial thoughts. I'm sorry, it's not really that deep or really much insight, but game two, Wednesday, I believe they'll fight back. I believe they'll win the series. But this is gonna be a dogfight, man. This is a very tough team to play. This is a very good top seven, top eight. I'm excited. I'm excited. This is gonna be a dogfight. Come on. I'll see y'all.